I'm here at Hokkien Man Hokkien Mee, an establishment opened by ex-sous chef from 3 Michelin Star restaurant Les Amis, in search of the best Hokkien Mee in Singapore. And today we are here for his fried Hokkien prawn mee. How very exciting today! We are going to experience a Hokkien Mee by quite literally a top chef in the culinary world. It's often asked how a top hawker or street food vendor compares to a Michelin Star chef. Yes, a chef has to think about much more than just cooking, but what if you take away all that and just compare their skill in front of a stove? We have tried many great Hokkien Mee so far by the OG hawkers, but I'm very excited to see a proper, culinarily tried and tested pro chef's take on the dish. Let's get it, boys. Hello, 有 WhatsApp 的，2点是，对，谢谢，谢谢。Okay, I'm quite excited. Normally when you see Hokkien Mee with this consistency, right, you know that it's gonna be super flavorful. But the catch with that is that if it's too flavorful, or if it's not balanced properly, you get sick of it very fast. And another thing that is interesting is that the lard is not crispy. It is cooked with the noodles. So there's a slightly different handling here. Anyway, let's get it. This is tricky. There is so much good about it. It has a typical very punchy, flavorful first bite, one that you would expect of a wet version. The texture is very nice, it's so nice to slurp down. The amount for $6 is actually quite a lot. I felt that it was pretty heavy when I was carrying it just now. And we have like 2 prawns, we have sotong, we have pork belly. But what really stands out is 1, the fragrance of the egg. We see the homogeneous egg again. And 2, the use of lard. I know we have had plenty of Hokkien Mees that, exclude the lard, and it can even be considered authentic to leave out the lard, but nah. After this plate, I'm a believer. Hokkien Mee is better with lard. And the way they have cooked it here is to add the lard during cooking, so that the fat flavor will seep into the noodles, and it will also soften the lard in the process, which sort of camouflages the lard in the noodles, but you will undeniably notice it in your mouth. Chili is decent as well. It tastes like something that you might get at a very good nasi lemak store. The chili actually tastes so authentic, but authentic nasi lemak. And the way the squid is cut, the overall handling of the dish is just so nice. Even the gravy, we talk about 收汁, right? So it's the process where the starch in the rice noodles gelatinizes and mixed with the broth, causing it to be thicker. And while at the start of the meal, you can see that it's quite liquidy, right? At the end, right, it's still so clean. There's no excess broth. All of that broth has successfully clung onto the noodles. Decent amount of wok hei as well. You can sort of guess it from the amount of burnt bits around. Every part of the dish just screams expert handling. But there's just one thing that really rubs me the wrong way. It's too sweet and also slightly too much umami, such that it hinders how much you can eat. Sweetness diminishes your appetite. That's why at most course meals you have the dessert at the end. And this overt sweetness just hindered me the entire meal. It is very common to add sugar to most Chinese dishes, I would say. The same way it's very common to add salt to pastries. But I think the balance here is off. You want just 5% sweetness, maybe 10% in this dish to just help with the flavor, but not so much that it outright tastes sweet. The umami also makes me suspect that there is MSG in here, which again I'm totally fine with, but it needs to be in the background. It cannot be so forward, which is such a pity actually, because I think there is so much flavor on the plate already. You can definitely lose the sweetness and the MSG, right, or whatever that's providing this like umami at the end, and still be incredibly flavorful, which leads me to guess that maybe it's a personal preference. Maybe their crowd like things sweeter. But at least for me, in the face of all these crustacean flavors and fatty flavors, I really want a hit of salt. I know the lime will definitely help cut the sweetness, but if you guys have noticed, I almost never use the lime. All these places that we are visiting are well established. They can do without the crutch of the lime. But yeah, tricky verdict to give. 1 noodle I'll walk for the Hokkien Mee, 2 noodles I'll take a bus for the Hokkien Mee, and 3 noodles I'll go anywhere in Singapore for the Hokkien Mee. And Hokkien Man Hokkien Mee is 2 noodles. This is such a harsh 2 noodles because everything else is so good, and the only miss, while I mind it quite a bit, is such a small miss. It's just less sugar. And on top of that, it might be, you know, catered to the crowd here. But unfortunately, I have to give the rating based on my palate, and I really dislike the sweetness. If I had this at the start of the series, it would definitely be considered a 3 noodles. Which reminds me, we are definitely due for moderation at the end of the series. The past few episodes really pushed the ceiling on how good Hokkien Mees can be. But for now, 2 noodles. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys this time. I'll see you all next week. Bye!